All glories all glories all glories all glories all glories Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasim.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudire.
Tato Jayamudire.
Nastapray Shiva Bhadreshu.
Nastapray Shiva Bhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke.
Bhagavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Hare Krishna. 26, right? 30.
26 to 30.
Well, I have not given class in a long time, so now I have to sit in 5 verses. Okay. Big purport. I think I'll just read the Sanskrit. It's too long to repeat all the verses. So, and then because the purport's also long. Satyam Socham Daya Shanti Tyaga Santosha Arjavam Shamodamasta Pasamyam Titiksho Pariteshikam Jnanam Viraktir Aishvaryam Shodam Tejo Balam Smriti. You can repeat together also, no problem. Swantaratyam Kaushalam Kante Dairam Madhavam Evacha Pragalbhyam Prashasashilam Saha Oja Balam Bhagaha Gambiryam Steryam Astikam Kirtir Mano Anakahan Kriti Ete Chanye Cha Bhagavan Nitya Yatra Mahaguna Pratya Mahatvam Ichabhir Naviyanti Smakarhichit Tena Ham Guna Patrena Srinivasena Sampratam Sochami Rahitam Lokam Papana Kalinikshitam. Satyam, truthfulness. Socham, cleanliness. Daya, intolerance of others and happiness.
Intolerance of others' unhappiness.
Shanti,
Shanti.
Self-control even if there is cause of anger.
Self-control even if there is cause of anger.
Tyaga.
Tyaga.
Magnanimity.
Magnanimity.
Santosha.
Santosha.
Self-satisfaction.
Self-satisfaction.
Arjavam.
Arjavam.
Straightforwardness.
Straightforward.
Shama.
Shama.
Fixing the mind. Fixing of the mind.
Fixing of the mind.
Dhamma.
Dhamma.
Control of the sense organs.
Control of the sense organs.
Tapa.
Tapa.
Truthfulness to one's responsibility.
Trueness to one's response.
Trueness to one's responsibility. Thank you. Samyam.
Samyam.
Indiscrimination between friend and foe.
Indiscrimination between friend and foe.
Titiksha.
Titiksha.
Tolerance of the offenses of others.
Tolerance of the offenses of others.
Uparati.
Uparati.
Indifference to loss and gain.
Indifference to the loss and gain.
Shrutam.
Truth.
Following scriptural injunctions.
Following scriptural injunctions.
Jnanam.
Jnanam.
Knowledge, self-realization.
Knowledge, self-realization.
Viraktihi.
Virakti.
Detachment from sense enjoyment.
Detachment from sense enjoyment.
Ashrayaram.
Aishwaryam.
Leadership.
Leadership.
Shauryam.
Shaurya.
Chivalry.
Level.
Teja.
Teja.
Influence.
Influence.
Balam.
Balam.
To render possible that which is impossible.
To render possible that which is impossible.
Smriti.
Smriti.
To dexterity in all activities.
To find one's proper duty.
Smriti.
To find one's proper duty.
To find one's proper duty. Swantatyam.
Swatantriyam.
Not to depend on others.
Not to depend on others.
Kaushalam.
Kaushalam.
Dexterity in all activities.
Dexterity in all activities.
Kanti.
Kanti.
Beauty.
Beauty.
Dharyam.
Dhairyam.
Freedom from disturbance.
Freedom from disturbance.
Mardavam.
Mardavam.
Kind-heartedness.
Kind-hearted.
Eva.
Eva.
Thus.
Thus.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Pragalbhyam.
Pragalbhyam.
Ingenuity.
Ingenuity.
Prashaya.
Prashraya.
Gentility.
Gentility.
Shilam.
Shilam.
Mannerless.
Mannerliness.
Saha.
Saha.
Determination.
Determination.
Oja.
Oja.
Perfect knowledge.
Perfect knowledge.
Balam.
Balam.
Proper execution.
Proper execution.
Bhaga.
Bhaga.
Object of enjoyment.
Object of enjoyment.
Gambhiryam.
Gambhiryam.
Joyfulness.
Joyfulness.
Studyam.
Styrium.
Immovability.
Immovability.
Astikyam.
Astikyam.
Faithfulness.
Faithfulness.
Kirti.
Kirti.
Fame.
Fame.
Mana.
Mana.
Worthy of being worshipped.
Worthy of worship.
Anahankriti.
Anaha Kriti.
Pridelessness.
Prideless.
Ete.
Ete.
All these.
All these.
Jani.
Jani.
Also many others.
Also many
Cha.
others. Cha.
Bhagavan.
And
Bhagavan.
Bhagavan.
The personality of
The
Godhead.
personality of
Nitya.
God. Nitya.
Everlasting.
Everlasting.
Yatra.
Yatra.
Where?
Where?
Mahaguna.
Mahaguna.
Great qualities.
Great qualities.
Prartya.
Prartya.
Worthy to possess.
Worthy to possess.
Mahatma.
Mahatma.
Greatness.
Greatness.
Ichade.
Ichadhi.
Those who desires so.
Those who desire so.
No.
Na.
Never.
Never.
Viyanti.
Viyanti.
Deteriorates.
Deteriorates.
Sma.
Sma.
Ever.
Ever.
Karichit.
Kali-yuga.
Anytime.
At any time.
Tene.
Daily.
By him.
By
Aham.
myself.
Myself. Guna patarena.
Gunapatra.
The reservoir of all
The
qualities.
reservoir of all qualities.
Shri.
Shri.
The goddess of fortune.
The goddess of fortune.
Nivasena.
Nivasena.
By the resting place.
By the rest.
Sampratam.
Samprata.
Very recently.
Very recent.
Shochami.
Shochami.
I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking of
Rahitam.
Rahitam.
Benefit of.
Benefit.
Lokam.
Lokam.
Planets.
Planets.
Papmana.
Papmana.
By the store of all sins.
By the store of all sins.
Kalina.
Kalina.
By Kali.
By Kali.
Ikshitam
Ikshitam.
is seen.
Is seen.
Okay. I'll just read. In him reside 1. Truthfulness. 2. Cleanliness. 3. Intolerance of others' unhappiness. 4. The power to control anger. 5. Self-satisfaction. 6. Straightforwardness. 7. Steadiness of mind. 8. Control of the sense organs. 9. Responsibility. 10. Equality. 11. Tolerance. 12. Equanimity. 13. Faithfulness. 14. Knowledge. 15. Absence of sense enjoyment. 16. Leadership. 17. Chivalry. 18. Influence. 19. The power to make everything possible. 20. To discharge a proper duty. 21. Complete independence. 22. Dexterity. 23. Fullness of beauty. 24. Serenities. 25. Kind-heartedness. 26. Ingenuity. 27. Gentility. 28. Magnanimity. 29. Determination. 30. Perfection of all knowledge. 31. Proper execution. 32. Possession of all objects of enjoyment. 33. Joyfulness. 34. Immovability. 35. Fidelity. 36. Fame. 37. Worship. 38. Pridelessness. 39, being as the personality of God, and 40, eternity, and many other transcendental qualities which are eternally present and never to be separated from Him. That personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, has now closed His transcendental pastimes on the face of the earth. In His absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. I am sorry to see this condition of existence. Purport. By His divine grace. Even if it were possible to count the atoms after smashing into earth, into powder, it still would not be possible to estimate the unfathomable transcendental qualities of the Lord. It is said the Lord Anantadev has tried to expound the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord with his numberless tongues, and that for numberless years together it has been impossible to estimate the qualities of the Lord. The above statement of the quality of the Lord is just to estimate His qualities as far as human being is able to see Him. But even if it is so, the above qualities can be divided into many subheadings. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the third quality, intolerance of another's happiness, can be subdivided into protection of the surrendered souls, well wishes for the devotees. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord states that He wants every soul to surrender to Him only. And He assures that if one does so, He will give protection for the reaction of all sins. Unsurrendered souls are not devotees of the Lord, and thus there is no particular protection for Him in general. For the devotees, He has all good wishes. And for those who are actually engaged in loving service, Lord, He gives particular attention. He gives direction to such pure devotees to help them discharge their responsibilities on the path to Godhead. By quality, the Lord is equally kind to everyone, as the sun is equal in distributing its rays to everyone. Yet there are many who are unable to take advantage of the sun's rays. Similarly, the Lord says that surrendering unto Him is the guarantee for all protection from Him. But unfortunate persons are unable to accept this proposition, and therefore they suffer from all material miseries. So even though the Lord is equally well-wishing to everyone, the unfortunate living being, due to bad association, is unable to accept His instruction in total. And for this, the Lord is never to be blamed. He is called a well-wisher for the devotees only. He appears to be partial to His devotees, but factually the matter rests on the living being to accept or reject the equal treatment of the Lord. The Lord never deviates from His word of honor. When He gives His assurance for protection, the promise is executed in all circumstances. It is the duty of the pure devotee to be fixed in the discharge of the duty entrusted to him by the Lord, or the Lord's bona fide representative, His spiritual master. The rest is carried out by the Lord without a break. And the responsibility of the Lord is also unique. The Lord has no responsibility because all His work is done by His different appointed energies. But still He accepts voluntary responsibilities in displaying different roles in this transcendental pastime. As a boy, he was playing the part of a cowboy. As a son of Nandamraj, he discharged responsibility perfectly. Similarly, when he was playing the part of a Kshatriya as the son of Maharaj Vasudeva, he displayed all skill of a martially spirited Kshatriya. In almost all cases, the Kshatriya king has to secure a wife by fighting or kidnapping. This sort of behavior for Kshatriya is praiseworthy in the sense that the Kshatriya must show his power of chivalry to his would-be wife, so that the daughter of the Kshatriya can see the valor of her would-be husband. Even the personality of God as Sri Ram displayed such a spirit of chivalry during his marriage. He broke the strongest bow called the Haradhanar, and achieved the hand of Sita Devi, the mother of Alapya. The Kshatriya spirit is displayed during marriage festivals, and there is nothing wrong in such fighting. Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa discharged such responsibility fully because he had more than 16,000 wives. In each and every case, he fought like a chivalrous Kshatriya and thus secured a wife. To fight 16,000 times to secure 16,000 lives is certainly possible only for the personality of God. Similarly, he displayed full responsibility in every action of his different transcendental pastimes. The 14th quality, knowledge, can be further extended into 5 subheadings, namely intelligence, gratefulness, the power of understanding circumstantial environment of place, object, and time, the perfect knowledge of everything, and the knowledge of the self. Only fools are ungrateful to the benefactors. The Lord, however, does not require benefit from anyone besides himself, because he is full in himself. Still, he feels benefited by the unalloyed services of his devotees. The Lord feels grateful to his devotees for such unsophisticated, unconditional service, and tries to reciprocate by rendering service, although the devotee has no such desire in his heart. The transcendental service of the Lord is itself transcendental benefit for the devotee, and therefore the devotee has nothing to expect from the Lord. On the assertion of the Vedic aphorism, Sarva Brahma, we can understand that the Lord, by the omnipresent rays of his effulgence called the Brahma Jyoti, is all-pervading inside or outside of everything, like the omnipresent material sky, and thus he is omniscient. As far as the beauty of the Lord is concerned, he has some special features that distinguish him from all the living beings. And over and above that, he has such special attraction features which he attracts the mind of even Radharani, the super most beautiful creation of the Lord. He is known, therefore, as Madan Mohan, one who attracts the mind of Cupid. Srila Jiva Goswami is scrutinizing and analyzing the transcendental qualities of the Lord and affirms that Śrī Kṛṣṇa is the absolute personality of Godhead, Parabrahman. He is omnipotent by his inconceivable energies, and therefore he is Yogeshvara, or the supreme master of all mystic power. Being the Yogeshvara, the eternal form, is spiritual, a combination of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. The non-devotee non-devotee class cannot understand the dynamics nature of his knowledge because they are satisfied to reach up to his eternal form of knowledge. All great souls aspire to be equal in knowledge of him. This means that all of the knowledge is ever insufficient, flexible, measurable, whereas the knowledge of the Lord is fixed and unfathomable. Srila Sutta Goswami affirms in Bhagavatam that although he was observed by the citizens of Dwarka every day, they were increasingly anxious to see him again and again. The living being can appreciate the qualities of the Lord as the ultimate goal, but they cannot attain the status quo of such quality. This material world is a product of the Mahatattva, which is a state of the Lord's dreaming condition in the yoga, neither a mystic slumber in a causal ocean. And yet the whole creation appears to be factual presentation of his creation. This means that the Lord's dreaming condition are also factual manifestations. He can therefore bring everything under his transcendental control, and thus whenever and wherever he appears, he does so in his fullness. The Lord, being all that is described above, maintains the affairs of the creation, and by his doing so, he gives salvation even to his enemies who are killed by him. He is attractive even to the topmost liberated souls. Thus he is worshipable even by Brahma and Shiva, the greatest of all demigods, even in his incarnation of Purusha avatar. He is the Lord of the creative energy. The creative energy is working under his direction as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9:10. He is the control switch of the material energy, and to control the material energy is in the innumerable universes. He is the root cause of innumerable incarnations in all deities, in all universes. There are more than 500,000 incarnations of Manu in only one universe, besides other incarnations in different universes. In the spiritual world, however, beyond the Mahatattva, there is no question of incarnations, but there are plenary expansions of the Lord in different Vaikunthas. The planets in the spiritual sky are at least 3 times the number of those within the innumerable universes in the Mahatattva. All the Narayan forms of the Lord are but expansions of his Vasudeva feature, and thus he is Vasudeva, Narayan, and Krishna simultaneously. He is Śrī Kṛṣṇa Govinda Hare Murare, He Natha Narayana Vasudeva, all in one. His qualities, therefore, cannot be counted by anyone, however great one may be. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanandjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmrityajana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Naitamamsta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Adrivam Advaitam Savadutam Vairana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sarana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shri He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jayakate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatayine Jai Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, long verse. Well, it's not a long verse, it's 5 verses presented together. So, here in this chapter, it's entitled, How Parikshit Received the Age of Kali. So, this verse is being spoken by who? Mother Earth in the form of a cow. So, a bull in Parikshit Maharaj's kingdom is being attacked by somebody dressed as a king, but it was actually a Shudra. This bull is standing on one leg, and this is the personification of Dharma. So, as Parikshit Maharaj has seen this, he is curious what's happening. And so he hears a story of this conversation between this bull and Mother Earth. So that's the section. And towards next chapter, we'll see the actual discussion of Parikshit Maharaj with this person beating the bull. Just finding. So Dharma, he asked the bull, the cow, "Are you not hale and hearty? Why are you covered with a shadow of grief? Are you suffering from some internal disease? Are you thinking of some relative in a distant place? Are you lamenting for my state of existence? Are you in great anxiety because henceforward the unlawful meat eaters will exploit you? Are you in a sorry plight because the demigods are now bereft of their share of sacrificial offerings because no sacrifices are being performed? Are you grieving for living beings because of their sufferings due to famine and drought? Are you feeling compunction for the unhappy women and children? Are you unhappy because the goddess of learning is being handled by Brahmanas addicted to acts against the principles of religion? Are you sorry to see that the Brahmanas have taken shelter of administrative families that do not respect Brahminical culture? And so on. These questions go on. So the Dharma, the bull is asking Mother Earth. So the Mother Earth is now replying. And so this is her first reply. Yesterday's verse, she says, O Dharma, whatever you have inquired from me shall be known to you. I shall try to explain these all questions. Once you two were maintained by your forelegs, and you have increased happiness all over the universe by the same mercy of the Lord. So now this is her first question, first answer. And she is explaining that in him reside. So in who? In the Supreme Personality of God reside all these qualities like truthfulness, cleanliness, intolerance of another's unhappiness, power to control anger, etc. And she says at the end, and she says, after listing 40 qualities, and many other transcendental qualities, which are eternally present and never to be separated from him. And then she says that Lord Krishna has now closed his pastimes on the face of the earth. In his absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I'm sorry to see this condition of existence. So here, Mother Earth is expressing what is the source of her lamentation. Right? Dharma is asking it, are you not healthy? Are you suffering from some disease? Are you thinking of somebody far away, some relative you're missing? Are you in great anxiety because meat eaters are now becoming prevalent and will kill you? So if we note something in these questions, Dharma is primarily asking questions that would affect her. Meaning, is there something wrong with you? Something troubling you? And her answer is like a pure devotee, para dukkha dukhi. They have no dukkha. She is saying that no, Krishna has left. So now Kali-yuga will manifest. And she knows that everyone will suffer by the influence of Kali-yuga. So this is the nature of, again, the great personalities. They do not care for their own struggles and challenges. Right? Dharma asks many detail. Health, family, this, that. Meat eaters, they're going to kill you and your offspring, your family, sacrifices. So many. But that is not of concern. Self-preservation is not of concern to the devotee. So she says, no, that Krishna is the reservoir of all good qualities. And now that his pastimes have wrapped up, Kali-yuga has come, and these bad qualities are going to prosper. Of course, that's why Dharma is now only standing on one leg. Previously, they had 4 legs, as we saw at the end of the purport, and she'll explain this. But only one is now left, and that also will dwindle by the end of Kali-yuga. So, this is the source of her lamentation. And this is very instructive to us, because we have so many so-called sources of our lamentation. But a devotee's only lamentation is seeing the suffering of others in separation from Krishna. Because whatever other struggles they may have themselves, they see as a blessing and mercy of the Lord. That the Lord is my well-wisher. Prabhupada writes in the purport here that the Lord is the ever well-wisher. He is the well-wisher of all of us. So when one surrenders to Krishna in that mood, because, one of his qualities is responsibility. Responsibility means he takes responsibility of the Lord, of his devotees. So, anyways, let's start. So that's the context for this, the nice mood of the devotee. And Prabhupada opens the purport. We'll go purport. I think tomorrow we'll discuss this verse also, because it's so many verses and it's a long purport. So we'll cover a little bit today, and then we'll continue tomorrow with this verse, so that way we can cover it in full, because there's a lot to discuss here. And if we keep discussing, Rajbog will also pass. So we don't want to do that and make people upset. So Prabhupada starts with, even if it were possible to count the atoms after smashing the earth into powder, it still would not be possible to estimate the unfathomable transcendental qualities of the Lord. So think about what Prabhupada is saying, that if you took this giant earth planet and put it into dust, if you pick up one handful of sand, try it. You cannot count how many particles of sand you have. It seems so easy. Forget handful, even just like 1 teaspoon of sand. I actually tried this once because I was like, I always use this. It was impossible to count even small, because they're so fine. So if you cannot count even like 1 teaspoon of sand, Prabhupada is saying, if you were able to count the number of atoms, if the whole earth were put into dust, so the whole earth, if you are able to do that, so that's your capability. If I can't, with all my capability do 1 teaspoon, but I could do that, even then, you could not begin to touch the extent of Krishna's qualities. So this gives us an understanding how deep the Supreme Lord is. And then he goes on to say that Lord Anantadev, he has millions of tongues. And he's been chanting the qualities of the Lord for millions of years. And still is not even able to scratch the surface. So when we say that the Lord's qualities are unlimited, we cannot understand that. We cannot contextualize what that means. So we can try to understand it from, some of these parallels that, numberless years together, and still we cannot count the qualities of the Lord. So what Mother Earth is speaking, she's given 40, and then says, and many others. So very important. Not suggesting that Krishna has only 40 qualities. We know he possesses 64 principal qualities that distinguishes him from all the living entities. But again, it's just a sampling. And the quality of the Lord, we should know, is non-different from the Lord himself. So, we say the Lord and his names. There's no difference. Again, materially we say, if I chant money, 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 do I become rich? Be nice, huh? Then chanting will not be so difficult. You can become rich by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare. But we don't have so much faith in that richness. But if we chant money, money, money and became rich, we would all be chanting. Nobody would have trouble rising at 4 o'clock in the morning. We would rise at 3 o'clock in the morning to start chanting, to build our wealth. But it doesn't work that way. But Krishna is non-different from his names. Money is different from the name money, but Krishna is the same as his names. That's the difference. So he's non-different from his names. non-different from his form. We are sitting in front of the form of the Lord, but we don't perceive Krishna. Do you perceive Krishna? You see Krishna? Huh? No, not completely. If we saw Krishna, let's compare this. If Srila Prabhupada was standing here, how we would be? Same? What would we do differently?
We'll try to be more presentable and
In what way?
like in terms of cleanliness or in terms of external appearance or
Okay, just, yeah, obvious, right? Like, if Srila Prabhupada is here, I would not be wearing an old Festival of Chariots t-shirt. I would have a nice kurta, chadar, make sure the tilak is freshly applied because it maybe wore out from morning, right? It's basic, standard. Clean shaven head. Oh, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is here. So we are not perceiving Him as the Supreme Lord. Because that, with simple analysis, we know we would change so many things if our spiritual master was here. What we would do differently, right? So this gives us some estimation of our gap in realization. And what we do practically is we should close that gap. Every time we walk into the temple, we should just remember, I'm going to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I remember watching for many years Jusha Prabhu. When he would enter the gate, he would offer obeisances. And I asked him once, I said, why? Because we're entering the Lord's property. I was stunned. At the gate, not the door, the gate. Now at the door, what happens? When we enter the temple room, what happens? When we see the Lord, what is our mindset? So this perception of the Lord's qualities are also the same. So the form, name, the qualities, the same. That when we celebrate the Lord's qualities, we are in the presence of the Lord because He's non-different from His qualities. So this beauty of the Lord, that is the Lord Himself. And Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita that when we observe things in nature that are so-called beautiful, great qualities, we should immediately think Krishna. Oh, Krishna, you are the taste of water. You are the brilliance of everything we see. So that's how we can constantly be in remembrance of Krishna. So this realization of Krishna being non-different, at least speaking for myself, long way to go. Long way to go. Because, and the metric we always use, would I behave, look, act the same way if I was in the presence of my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada? Or would I be different? And we should come to the point where we are no difference. Then we are recognizing we are in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's a very nice opportunity to pull us forward in our consciousness. And the more we do, well, you made a great point, like, if Srila Prabhupada was coming, would we allow the temple to look like this? So why we are allowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead's home to be this? This is His home. Because we don't recognize it as such. And it was a great story, not story, but just somebody was commenting that, Srila Prabhupada had one discomfort that the devotees realized later. That wherever Srila Prabhupada went, the one thing he always smelled? Paint. Because the devotees would freshly paint his room, different areas of the temple when he was coming. So they would know he was coming, and so it would be a festival for like weeks preparing for Srila Prabhupada's arrival. And everything was always fresh, so every time he would come, he would always smell fresh paint. And then they realized after this time, Srila Prabhupada, we should paint a month before, but in their enthusiasm to please Srila Prabhupada, they would clean and freshly paint. So again, it just gives us a nice reminder of the opportunity. So let's discuss a few of the qualities. Srila Prabhupada starts by discussing this third quality, the intolerance of another's unhappiness. So Krishna is the source of all good qualities. And as we progress in devotional service, these good qualities also manifest in us. That is, if they're not manifesting in us, we are not performing our devotional service properly. We should understand that. In Nectar Devotion, Rupa Goswami tells us, right, there are 6 characteristics awarded in pure devotional service. What's the second? Subhadda. It means that one acquires divine qualities. They manifest happiness on others by their presence, because these good qualities manifest. So klesha agni, the material suffering reduces, but also these good qualities emerge. And why they emerge? We are part and parcel of Krishna. So if you're part and parcel, whatever qualities Krishna has, we also have. But in small quantity, but we have those qualities. So these qualities that we celebrate of Krishna, we should try to translate into how can I manifest these qualities. Of course, we cannot just by external means manifest it. These qualities come from internal purification. And what is the internal purification process? Cheto darpan marjanam. To cleanse the heart by chanting. By really good chanting. So our intention, our chanting, if we're very intentional, these qualities should emerge. So this unhappiness, the intolerance of another's unhappiness. Now what we have is an intolerance of others' happiness. We become happy seeing somebody unhappy. This is how Kali-yuga is. If somebody else is going through some difficulty, we become happy. And if somebody else is enjoying something nice, we become unhappy. This is the sickness of our conditioning. But Krishna, he doesn't care about his happiness. What causes him unhappiness is seeing all of us suffering. Birth, death, old age, disease. Krishna is lamenting. Oh, my poor jiva, my son, daughter. They are unhappy living in this material world. So blinded by their own free will. So Krishna has an intolerance, meaning he is not neutral. Some will say that Krishna is partial to his devotees. Prabhupada writes about this in a later context. Yes, Krishna is partial to his devotees, but he is impartial to all. But he has an intolerance to seeing everybody suffer. So that is a mood that we can also try to inculcate. We might have an intolerance to see, our friends suffering, somebody we love suffering. But, in natural circumstances, there will always be, some friction, even in spiritual life, devotional community. And maybe some devotees, I'm not so fond of them. We should try to inculcate this mood of wishing them even best. And how to see that their spiritual success should give us happiness, not disappointment. And it's very hard to do. Very, very hard to do. But this is the natural nature of the devotee. And, I was hearing a class yesterday by Devi Shakti Mataji on Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. This whole series she does is just, it's beyond nectar. But she was, I won't name the devotee just to protect, but she was telling that, a devotee of Srila Prabhupada, a disciple, started to not follow Srila Prabhupada's instruction. And very dear disciple, like very intimate disciple, one of the first. And Srila Prabhupada, was with him, and he told him to go to one place to start a center. And he went somewhere else. And directly, forbade. But then went further and started, speaking against what Srila Prabhupada was teaching. And it was quite a severe, what I can say, deviation. And I was thinking wow, if somebody did that to me, I would become so upset. I wouldn't want to talk to this person. I would, become angry at them. I would wish them to be, fail. I'm just thinking how many bad thoughts I would have. Because it was a complete betrayal. And I'm understating the level of betrayal just to create some anonymity, but it was a severe, severe betrayal. It would have been so painful for Srila Prabhupada to experience this, coming from this person. And what was stunning to me is that, Srila Prabhupada writes him a letter. And this letter is there, you can read it in Prabhupada archives. And he writes him a very strong letter, saying that, you have to stop this behavior, in a very strong letter. But he ends the letter with such love. And he says that, it's better that you just stop all these activities and just chant. And therefore you'll find the happiness you are searching for. You are not going to be happy going down this path. And Srila Prabhupada, it just struck me that his focus was not, hey, you're betraying me and you're impairing the movement that I'm spending my blood, sweat, and tears trying to build. He is thinking, you are going to suffer the consequences of this. You are going to struggle for this. So don't do this. Don't do this. It better you stop and just chant. Now, again, Prabhupada was relying on this devotee to help expand the movement. But he's thinking, what's best for that? I just was like, and then immediately in the same context, Srila Prabhupada is staying in Chipawada, in Delhi, and he was trying to establish that as the base for his book distribution and book printing, because in Delhi there was resources and facilities. And this person that was kind of with them, attending them and visiting them, he was stealing from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada noticed some money was stolen from his box, and he knew this person. He said, this person is a drunkard. He was a drunkard. And Srila Prabhupada was giving him association, and he was stealing. Then one day his record player was stolen, and his servant said, in the presence of this person, Srila Prabhupada, shall I call the police? And Srila said, no, it's okay, we'll tolerate. And I was thinking, wow. Like, again, this person who's not even a disciple, is a drunkard, not even following the regular principles, and Srila Prabhupada is tolerating. So we see this quality, number 11, titiksha. So this amazing qualities of Krishna we see in his devotees. And when you study, Srila Prabhupada, you can see, these qualities like intolerance of another's unhappiness. Why he came to the material, why he came to the Western world. Right? He's writing this. So, anyways, so we got through one quality today. We have 40. So let us try to discuss a few more tomorrow. We'll discuss a few more tomorrow, and then keep going, so that we don't completely stop. But since it's 5 verses, I'll cover this verse also again tomorrow. Granthara Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Śrī Prabhupada ki. Any comments, questions?
So,
takeaways?
So, how can we develop that to perceive Krishna, Prabhu?
Yeah, it's a good question. How to perceive Krishna? Do very simple things. But that are a little bit difficult for us. I'll give an example. For me, I don't like shaving. I can say I don't like it. I will never go on the altar without shaving. Why? Because that uncomfortable on my thing reminds me I'm going to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Again, little things, right? Like, we should technically not wear stitched cloth on the altar. So I will wear a kopin on the altar. Not comfortable. Don't like it. But it's a reminder of that. We try to, again, I'm just giving some personal example, This is the Lord's home. Clean something every time. Just pick something up. Move something that's out of place. It's not big, but it's consciousness affecting. That I'm going into the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? I think I might have told you or told others, when we show up for Mangal Arati 2 minutes late, that's worse than showing up an hour late. Think about it. If I'm showing up an hour late, there's something substantive that happened. Something happened the night before, I couldn't sleep, water was out, something significant happened, right? So then it's under Krishna, hey, you're forgiven. When I show up 2 minutes late, what do I attribute that to? Lack of discipline, right? There was no structural reason why I couldn't show up on time. Because I put the same thing. If I have a big exam to take, and the exam's at 11 o'clock, what time I will show up to the exam hall?
10 o'clock. At least 10:30.
If Srila Prabhupada called me for a meeting and said, you can come see me at 10 o'clock, what time I would be outside his door?
At least by 9:30.
If a movie is playing at the theater at 7 p.m., what time I will show up to the movie? If a flight is departing at 9:12 a.m., do we need more examples? But when the curtains open at 4:45, 4:47 is okay. So like, those are small, right? It's not major. But what that does is it forces us to really, really try to, I'm going to see the Supreme Person. Because what happens in repetition is we become casual. It's natural, right? It's human nature. And so we have to fight that. And we put ourselves in slight discomfort. The discomfort is ding, 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 ding. Because as soon as I become comfortable, what happens is I lose that mood of awe and reverence. And I remember, in presence of my Gurudev, His Holiness Gopal Krishna, sometimes you can get very close. But one devotee very kindly, just reminded, don't lose that awe and reverence. And be very careful. Don't go too close. And if you study, those who are closest and most intimately serving Srila Prabhupada, they struggled in their devotional service. It was a struggle. It wasn't the fault of theirs. And one day you say, wait a minute, they had the most mercy. But what happens is that awe and reverence can slip. So the same thing, I've noticed myself, now living here, coming here, it's so easy for it to become comfortable. So by just these few things, right, the inconvenience of, waking up 15 minutes early just to make sure, or the inconvenience of, picking something up off the floor, or setting just something, whatever it is that works for us, right? Shaving, I gave some very mundane, nothing scriptural, but what it does is it reminds us, I am going to see the Supreme Lord. So I should. Yeah. So whatever, inspires us to have this is a way, because it's not going to happen through any kind of magic, right? But as our heart and our purification occurs, and I would say the second thing, every day we have to intensify the quality of our chanting, right? So because as the heart purifies, we will see reality. Reality is Krishna is standing there. That is reality. We are not perceiving reality because I'm looking through stained glasses. So I have to cleanse the glasses. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, mirror of the heart. The mirror is not reflecting because the mirror is dirty, like that mirror. So I have to cleanse it. Right? So that is the way in which we can try to perceive the Lord more and more in His form. It's actually a long topic. It's a good topic. Thank you for asking, because it helps me remember okay, what else can we do? But these start small but important. They don't have to be so like I said, this, Mangal Arti thing, I was thinking, better an hour late than 2 minutes late. And you think, why? That's crazy, right?
Yes.
It's crazy. But the hour means there was something that happened, something. And again, I'm not being so like, there are times where, yes, we're gonna, whatever, something will happen, right? Like when I forgot to set my alarm, it's gonna happen, right? But more generally, haven't we tried to do these things? Maybe it's reading. Some days I'm reading, some days I'm not. Whatever it is, like in our practice, that discomfort and discipline will help us perceive. And why do we have to? We have to do achman, and like a very detailed achman to enter the altar. Why? Is it actually purifying me? Think about it. Not really. What's purifying is my consciousness. That I don't do this to go see my mother, to go see a friend, to go see anybody. But to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I must put on a clean cloth, a clean chadar, do some purificatory process, and then enter. So I can do the achman, but if my mind and consciousness is remaining unpure, then it's not working. Right? So all these things kind of remind us, why is it so important? Why is it so strict on the timing? Right? Why so strict? 1 minute here, 1 minute there. We're strict on timing for an exam, a movie, a meeting with Prabhupada, a flight, a meeting with a doctor, whatever. We're so strict. But we're not going to be strict on timing with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 1 minute is okay. When our prasadam is 1 minute late, how do we feel? Well, how is Kunj Bihari going to feel if the offering is 20 minutes late? Or we have to rush through the dressing. If I go, and I'm getting some service from somebody, let's say I'm going to a salon to have my hair cut. Obviously I don't, but let's say I'm paying money, I'm getting my son. And if the therapist shows up 10 minutes late, and then is rushing through to cut my hair, do I feel a good experience? So if we're a pujari and we're coming late to dress the Lord, and then we are rushing through, how would the Lord feel? Right? Of course, the intent, and there will be practical circumstances, but we should be very pure in our intent. If, I'm just picking this same example, dressing starts at 5:30, and I only need 1 hour to dress. Technically, I can come at 6:30, right? But now I'm making the Lord wait 1 hour. So it works for my schedule. But I'm having the Lord wait 1 hour. Why I would do that? Better we finish and let the Lord get back to his pastimes. But again, it's technically it works. So these things, help us in our consciousness that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And again, the easiest way for us to relate, what would I do with Srila Prabhupada? What would I do with my spiritual master? These are ways we can relate. That is why Guru Tattva is in our life. Why? Because it is difficult for us to surrender to Krishna. Easier for us to surrender to Guru. Not easy, difficult to surrender to Guru also. But Guru is the manifestation that gives us some inkling that when I surrender to Guru, the hope in Guru's heart is that then we will surrender to Krishna. That is why Guru accepts our surrender. So we can use Guru as a guide. How I would act, like you said nicely. How the temple would look if my Gurudev was coming. How I would look. How I would approach all these things. Whatever inspires us. That way. Okay? Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Nanta Koti Vishnu.